Okay. Okay. All right. Hey guys. This is Miranda, and we're back for another round of judging. This week's theme was propaganda posters. So we have some amazing work by our remaining finalists, and let's take a look. Without further ado, gotta introduce our other judge really quick.
Hi there, John Myrtle here. Here to also, judge and see what everybody produced for the week.
Alrighty, perfect, cool. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started and look at the first one. So the theme was propaganda posters, and the models were encouraged to come up with a message that they felt was important to them and produce a photo that exemplified that message, whether it was satirical or more serious. We encouraged everyone to get pretty creative with this one. So um, let's take a look at what you guys came up with. So our first call out and the photo of the week is going to be what we'll start with. Let's see here. Make sure that's updated for the latest information. So yeah, so first call out this week goes to Joan. Congratulations. You are the fan favorite and therefore safe from elimination. Let's take a look at what her photo looked like. While I pull this up, I'll do a quick note. She said that this was a modern take on modern propaganda from PETA, which is a well-recognized and supported organization. She wanted to kind of call out the way that they manipulate their audiences with graphic and emotional images, and this isn't designed to be a pro-fur ad. It's to satirize the organization's scare tactic way of creating propaganda. And it was inspired by Angela's faux fashion shoot and actual AMTM. So let's take a look. All right. Alrighty. So do you want to go first or do you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, I can start. I absolutely love this. I can definitely see why people probably voted this one as their favorite. I
Mhm.
think it got the message across, especially with that explanation as to what it's doing. I think the photo is great. I love the side eye. I
Mhm.
love the hair. Love the fur coat. Yeah, this is excellent.
Alrighty. So what would you give it for a score, do you think?
I'm going to give it a 9.
Cool. 9 from you. Oh, and do you want to track the scores this time, or do you want me to?
I got him.
You got him. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I would echo a similar sentiment. I think that satirical is really hard to do sometimes, especially when you're trying to do it with high fashion. It can be a really hard combination. I think that I've seen that work and not work on America's Next Top Model in various seasons, but I think Joan, you really did a great job of making that work while bringing like the ferocity and the fierceness of what I think this makes a good high fashion photo as well. Um, I think that the side eye and like the kind of the way that you position your body works for both like the poster construction as well as the fact that it sort of brings to me like sort of like an old school movie star vibe, with that fierceness that maybe wouldn't work in a direct translation in today's like modern world, but with that like satirical edge, I think it really works. So I'm gonna give this one a 9 as well. I think, or sorry, I go with a 9.5. I think because the one thing that I would say that was a little distracting is at the very bottom the text was a little hard to read because of the colors, and I think that the side of the wall in the photo is a little bit distracting. But I also think that this is again a modeling competition, not a photo editing one. And as far as the modeling goes, I think you absolutely crushed it. So great work, and let's go ahead and move on to our runner up for this week, who was Diego, or we have Kat as our runner up. Diego is our third runner up on the new updated one. So let's take a look at Kat. She did her take on a propaganda poster was also satirical, though she says, unless this advice is helpful, you should definitely take it. She chose a topic very near and dear to her heart, and it seems to be an actual issue during quarantine based on the many articles online. Her message is also, I'll save the message for the poster. But you can also see a behind the scenes TikTok that she made and attached to the comment thread on the original posting of how she actually created this image and a lot of her process. So I'd encourage you guys to check it out. She did a great job with it. And let's take a look at the image itself. Um, all right. Wow, I really this is a super um intense, like, but really good and not what I was expecting, but I love it. Like, it's very professional looking. Like, I could totally believe that you are already in the cover of like Nylon magazine. Like, I would not second do a double take if I was flipping through like a magazine and I saw this.
Yeah, I absolutely love this. I think the quality is fantastic. I love that it's not just one photo of Cat. It's like you have the three other additional ones kind of off to the side as well. And yeah, I absolutely love every single thing about this. I think the message is very clear from every single part about, not texting your ex. And yeah, overall, I think this was a stellar job.
I completely agree. I think that the detail work is amazing. I think that the way that she composed it is just like I can look at it forever. And the longer I look at it, the more I see that like just really like impressive little details, like the name of the playlist on her phone and the message at the very bottom, brought to you by the people for solo dance parties and weirdly specific Spotify playlists. Like, I think she just really crushes the satirical aspect, and the modeling is good too. She's got a very like almost Cosmo girl type, over the shoulder, relatable but also like fashionable type thing going on. It actually reminds me of Paula Shear a lot. The She's a really big name in the design world. Netflix did a thing called Abstract, the um, on design itself, and they profiled her quite a bit. And that's kind of where I'm getting some of her vibes from this. I think she would be very, very proud to see something like this. So great job, Kat. Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I think that I'm gonna go with a 10 on this. The only thing I was a little worried about at first, when I saw like the image, but looking closer, I think it's not an issue at all. When I take in the whole style is the fact that, again, the modeling, but looking at her face, you can really get that expression, even though she's, kind of like cartoonized it a little bit. I still feel like I really get the smolder or the smize coming through, and the modeling pictures in the background with her full body head to toe modeling, I think pushes it into 10 territory for me. So
Yeah, I'm definitely going to give it a 10 as well. I feel like the additional photos are what sold it to me. I
mm,
think those really convey the elements of like liberation and freedom, which I think is kind of going along with the message of like not attaching yourself to an ex, no matter how easy it might feel. You are more than that. And I think those additional photos are what definitely gave it the 10 for me. So I completely agree.
awesome. Cool. Yeah, I completely agree. This is a really exciting one to see. And I love just the direction that the design is going, with everything. It's getting more and more creative and more exciting to see what everyone kind of interprets each of the prompts as. So I thought that was just a really interesting take on what I assigned, I guess. So cool. All right, let's go back over and take a look at our third runner-up. So third overall, we got Diego's take. Um, he wanted to do something pride related, and something that kind of is owning his sexuality, something it sounds like that he was kind of struggling with in his teenage years, and so now this is something he is able to own and go forth with in that way. So that was his explanation. Let's see what it turned out to be. So I really love this one too. The first thing that kind of jumps out to me is I love his like, it looks very professionally done. I love the how much it pops. I love how you managed to, I think, actually get the actual Pride font completely spot on, and I love the intensity of like the body posture, and I like the face, but I think that I think I'm gonna challenge you to try and do some more diversity with your expressions and what angle you're looking at the camera for, because I think that that's a face that I've seen before. So for me, this is an 8 from me. I think I'm going to challenge you to do some more stuff with the face and the bot and the neck positioning, but as far as the body and the composition of the whole photo, I thought you did a great job. So
Yeah, I love this photo. It feels like a legitimate ad that I would see in like some form of media. The entire stance looks natural, doesn't look forced in any capacity. Like I really believe, holding a flag. And I love the tattoo on the right hand. I'm
Mhm.
mostly drawn to the colors of the flag, but most specifically to that tattoo. And I think it just adds a little bit more flavor to it. The only thing is, I do agree with you, is I feel like I have seen this looking upwards kind of like posture before, but it does feel like it blends into this, so especially with the message. It's kind of like a looking upwards towards the future, optimistic kind of vibe. But I do agree with challenging it up and changing it up a little bit, hopefully next time. But with that, I would give it an 8.5.
Okay, cool. All right, well done, Diego. Let's take a look at who else is on the list. Alrighty. So next up, we got Kylie. And she did not post a description or anything, which is again, it's not they don't have to post a description. It just sometimes helps if they did something that could be misinterpreted. So let's take a look at hers. All right. So I really like this one. I think that it's really hard to do a straight on at the camera look and still get that intensity. But I think that she did a great job with, like, for me, the centerpiece of this whole picture is definitely the eyes. And I think she did a great job with having so much focus be on the eyes, really delivering with the smizing so that it makes the rest of the photo pull together. Um, I like the editing with the mouth, and I like the font on the bottom. I think it adds to the overall message. And I like the overall idea of like that when the way that she composed it. I think my only feedback is I would maybe have like I love everything except for the pictures of the X's on the billionaire's eyes. I think that they're a little bit too big and placed almost slightly off in a way that makes the rest of the photo look a little bit too like PowerPointy almost. I think if she kind of removed the billionaires completely, I think that it would really let the photo stand more on its own, and it would help kind of focus on what I think is the centerpiece, which is the modeling. And I think she did that really well. So moving forward, I would maybe you know keep it a little less crowded, but I think that overall she did a great job. This is gonna be, I think, an 8 from me as well. So
Perfect. Yeah, I like the message. I get where they're going with it. I like it with the inclusion of the millionaires and eating the rich, and I especially love the tagline at the bottom of Bon Appetit.
mhm.
I think that was a nice little touch to kind of add there to kind of add a little bit more color to it too. The only thing I don't like is just the placement of the blood. It's
Uh-huh.
making me. It's a little hard for me to kind of see where the mouth is in particular. Like I can't myself instantly see where the lips are. So it feels a little slightly off to me, but everything else than that, I love the straight on look, like looking straight at the like the audience of whoever's looking at this. I think that's brilliant. And yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Cool. Alrighty. All right. So we'll go on to our next contestant. We got, all right, we got Carrie. Let's see what her take on it was. Okay, cool. So she did a positive propaganda poster. It looks like, to me, I think the illusion is definitely Amelia Earhart, and I really like the almost visual like surprise of seeing her finger poking out of the like where like she's going through a portal. It adds a cool dimensionality to the poster that I really think works. And I like the look on her face too. Like I could actually believe that she took this like outside on like an airfield, and the outfit is phenomenal. And overall, I actually really like this one. I think this is one of my favorite ones so far from Carrie. I think that it really works with her kind of personality, and the positioning was really I think drives home the message she's trying to send in like an aggressive but not in a intimidating way. So that's gonna be I think I'm gonna give her an 8 as well for this one. Or an 8.5 actually.
Okay, 8.5, perfect. Yeah, I absolutely love this. I completely agree. I get Amelia Earhart vibes. from this poster. I love it. I think it does a great job. I would have liked if the arm was angled a little bit more towards the right. I think the proportion of the arm feels slightly off the more I kind of stare at it.
Mhm.
So I think if it was angled a little bit more to the right, it would have looked a little bit better. But with that in mind, I would still give it a 9.
Cool. Cool. All right. Take a look. Next up, we got Eva. Let's see their interpretation, and they got. Oh, cool. So this one is actually the first thing that I see on this one that really jumps out to me is some of my feedback on some of their posts in the past has been, my dissatisfaction with like the crowded background. On this one, I think the background actually really adds to it. I think that it kind of has that like catalog feel, and the message and the style that they chose. I think that the bed frame, it looks like a kind of a bed frame, a leopard print pillow, and then all of the diversity in the background. I think that that actually really completes the photo. And then the as far as the modeling goes, I think that they did a great job too with having like sort of the posture and the silhouette really draws your eye into their their clothing, and then the color of the nails, but also their face is kind of exactly what I would call the centerpiece of the picture, and I think that's really the strongest point. It just has that perfect mix of like mean girl apathy, but also like not in a way that is resting bitch face. So it's gonna be. I think I'm gonna get an 8 on this one.
Nice. I personally think this is the best photo we've seen so far of Eva. I think this is brilliant. I love the pose. I love the movement of the hand, the placement of the hand. I also love kind of just like the messages that are in those posters behind. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
that kind of adds to the whole element of the propaganda. And I think it's brilliant. I think the set piece is nice. The pose is excellent. I love the tilt of the head. I give this one a 9.
Awesome. Cool. All right, and then our last current contestant, we got Zach with K. And they said their photos are on the dangers of texting and driving. Last round, I suppose, wanted them to go darker and play around with extremes. So he went for a gory message that can hit home for people to have that emotional effect. So let's see the photo. All right, so this one, my first instinct is, it's kind of interesting to see kind of like a two frame photo. It's almost like the comic book style, beginning and end. Um, but I think the only thing that's a little confusing is, um, I'd almost prefer if those were like side by side instead of stacked on top of each other, just to kind of have that left to right reading comprehension. I will say though, in that first photo, he really does exemplify, like he kind of looks like he's selling the car and like the phone, or like he's just modeling casually in the car. I think he's did a phenomenal job of like the modeling, and especially the first photo. And I could totally buy that as like an ad for one of the for either the phone, the car, or like the clothes he's wearing, or a lifestyle brand in general. Um, the second one I think is good as well in terms of the modeling. I just think that like for me it's just a little bit visually distorting to see him like on the top frame, sitting in the seat on the bottom frame. He's under the dash, which my brain keeps trying to put those images together in a way that is not how the car is constructed. So I feel like maybe just if he had the right image on, or the bottom image on the right, I could get the message a little bit more cleanly. But as far as the modeling goes, I think he did a great job with the face. The only other criticism I have is I do sort of wish the pictures were the same aspect ratio, so like same like both squares of the same size, so that it wasn't too disorienting to try to get the message across. And other than that, I think it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna give him a 7.5 for this one.
Yeah, I love it. I like the message. I like the first image a little bit more than the second one. I think the first image kind of really does sell the whole texting and driving element. I think I feels believable. Looking at the phone, still hand on the wheel, kind of. I get the environment and setting. I like the second one. I think the blood is the only thing that I'm not the most fan of, but I feel like that's the most obvious way to kind of sell the point of the chaos of texting and driving.
Yeah,
So I like it. I kind of agree with you on the placement of the pictures, but as far as the modeling goes, I like the dead eyes in the second photo. I think it works, and so I'm going to give it an 8.5.
perfect. All right. So I think that is the end of our um models left in the finalists. Now we did, if you know, you guys, some of you guys may have seen that we had Zach Swift, who was eliminated last week. He actually went ahead and did the photo challenge as well. So props to Zach. So I figure, you know, he despite being eliminated, we can take a look at his photo and give him some feedback since he put the work in, and I really like what he came up with. So this is Zach Swift's. His is eliminated, so we'll keep that in mind for final judging. But I wanted to give it some feedback anyway. So my first instinct is like I do love the ones that kind of have an homage. Like his is Rosie the Riveter, I would guess. And I really like the take on it though, with like more of like a LGBTQ message is sort of what I was getting. I think he absolutely crushed the facial expression and the body position of the original image, but with the contemporary take and pride kind of colors behind it and the message at the bottom. I think that this is actually one of my favorite photos I've seen in a while in the propaganda space. So um, I think that was a really, really strong performance. I would have given this one probably an 8.5. So
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Like, yeah, Rosie the Riveter is exactly what I get from this one here. I love literally every single part of this. Most particular, I love the jaw and bone structure there. I
mm,
think that really like pops out a lot in this photo. Love the message. If this one was still in the competition, I think I would have given this a 10. I think this is probably one of my favorite that I've seen so far out of all of the portfolios. So good job. I like it.
yeah, well played, well played. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So I think that would be all of our models. Time to announce the decisions. I got your scores sent over. And it looks like I had to do some running tallies. So bottom two were tied on this round. So what we were doing is if the bottom two are tied, we're going to take into account the fan vote and see who's got more votes on the Reddit thread, in addition to your rolling totals, aka your scores from the last couple rounds. So this is, can be as fair as possible. So it looks like with the fan vote, with a very, very, very close margin. Uh, so it looks like our eliminated model for this round three, is going to be Zach with a K. And this was one of the tightest bottom twos yet, actually. I think it was like 2 fan vote points away from the other contestants. So thank you, Zach, so much for participating in this competition. And I if you feel inspired to keep doing the prompts, I can keep you on the email list and you can do what Zach Swift has been doing. But thank you so much for all your amazing work. And make sure that, guys, if you're out there watching, you see a model whose photo you like, make sure you give it an upvote because, as we kind of saw, that actually has a really significant impact. Like I think it was 2 votes away of a difference on this round. So cool. So great job to everyone. I thought this was one of my favorite rounds, actually. I love scarves, but I really liked what everyone came up with and the way that we were creative and like more than just the modeling way. I thought you guys absolutely killed it. So good job, everyone. Do you have any final feedback on the?
I don't know. I think that was excellent, and just keep it up. And I look forward to seeing what we have next time.
Yeah, so everyone stay tuned for next week. I will upload this full judging video to YouTube so you guys can go check it out in case you didn't get to see the whole thing or missed it entirely. Great job, everyone, and stay tuned, models, for your prompt 4. See you guys later.